Hey guys, Foxdrop here with the video I wanted to do for a really long time. A video on how to cope with ranked anxiety. In this video we're going to take a look at what ranked anxiety actually is and give you some tools to help you deal with it. Before we delve into any details, I want to address any concerns you guys might have regarding my qualifications to be speaking about ranked anxiety. In order to give you guys the best content possible for this particular topic, I have been conferring with an official registered therapist and an academic researcher in the science of emotions. So you can be safe to know that I'm not just talking out my ass and the information in this video is all legit. First things first, let's nail down what ranked anxiety actually is. If you're queuing up for a game and you start feeling nervous, maybe your hands start getting cold, you start experiencing shivers, you have distracting thoughts in your head or your heartbeat increases, that kind of thing, chances are you're experiencing ranked anxiety. Sometimes this can get so bad and out of control that you end up avoiding playing games altogether. Now, anxiety as an emotion by itself is not strictly a bad thing. It can actually help you to focus your attention when you're playing games. However, the issue arises when it takes control. If you are one of the people that does experience this, don't feel bad. I myself have experienced a lot of anxiety in my life, and there are plenty of other people who do so as well. So you are definitely not alone. Now we know what ranked anxiety is, we can move on to looking at methods of how to control it. In this video, I'm going to break it up into two major categories, long-term and short-term. Looking at the long-term will uproot the fundamental issues that trigger your anxiety in the first place, and looking at the short-term will help you cope with the anxiety as you're experiencing it. Firstly, let's delve into the long-term stuff. Now, long-term is fairly simple in theory. Essentially, your anxiety is triggered by a two-step process. You feel like by playing ranked, you have something at stake or to lose, and on top of that you won't be able to cope when things do go wrong. If you can change the way you think about games, then you can change the way you cope when you lose. Typically speaking, there are three broad drivers for being anxious about queuing up for solo queue. Firstly, you can be a perfectionist, basically not giving yourself enough room for error and being afraid to lose. This puts so much pressure on you to win that really you often just play simply not to lose, which of course is not really a good thing. A way to retrain this thinking would be to think of games as opportunities to improve. If the end goal of your games is to come out a better player than you went going in, then it doesn't matter if you lose. As long as you learn something from each game you play, then win or lose, you'll be successful, and you can remove the anxiety connected with the outcome of the game. Before people complain and say that what's the point of going into ranked if you're not going in to win, fair enough, but if you are going in to learn, that doesn't necessarily mean you don't want to win, it just means that if you don't win, you're not a failure. Another way is to look at the bigger picture. If you figure out that most of the overpowered champions in this game will have around a 55-56% win ratio, that means that in order for you to be OP and for you to climb a lot, you will only need to win about 55 games out of 100. And if that's the case, then you'll be losing around 45 games out of 100 as well. And that is a lot of losses. The important thing to know is that these losses don't necessarily mean that you're not climbing. The next big driver for your anxiety is the fear of letting people down, basically being nervous about playing poorly and having people flame at you. In order to get through this kind of thinking, you need to reach a place where you're no longer heavily influenced by what others think of you. The first big piece of advice I can give you is to mute people who will try to throw you in the dirt. And listening to that ritual really won't help you at all. Something which personally helped me with this was to acknowledge that as long as I put all my effort in and I couldn't give any more, then I had nothing to be ashamed about no matter how I played. After all, everyone has bad games and it's very normal and very common. This driver is a very complex topic though, and it will take me 10,000 years to talk about it in depth, so anyone looking for more help should look up how to have a better internal locus of control. The last big driver relates to a feeling of control or lack thereof. You feel nervous because you can't control your teammates and you might lose because of them. Truth is, that will happen sometimes, and it will help you to accept it as a fact of solo queue and that no one is in control of their teammates, so it's a level playing field. Duo queuing can make you feel more in control of your teammates and will definitely help, as will the knowledge that in the big picture, your teammates will not be holding you back. And seeing as your teammates are mostly outside of your control, you should try to focus on the elements that you actually can control. In Champion Select, this would be stuff like picking a role and a champion that you are familiar with and confident on. In-game, it's beneficial to focus on your own performance, and at the end of the day, that really is the most important thing you should be doing in solo queue anyway. All of these drivers are not necessarily easily solved overnight. It will vary from person to person as to how long it will take, which is why they are long-term after all. You should know that the more you play ranked, the less intense your experience of anxiety will be. So simply playing more will help. While you're working on your long-term rethinking, there are short-term solutions to helping you cope with the anxiety that you feel. Each person will experience their nerves in different ways and intensities, but the core principle is about countering what you feel when the nerves strike. Before we go into specifics, I want to talk to you about a concept called the feedback loop. What this means is that the way you think, feel, and behave are all connected and can all influence each other. For example, studies have shown that by imitating actions we associate with happiness, such as smiling, we can actually make ourselves feel happy. Likewise, by frowning, etc., we can make ourselves feel sad. Not only is this bloody fascinating by itself, but we can use the knowledge of the feedback loop to help regulate our anxiety. So think about the stuff that happens to your body when you queue up for ranked and start feeling nervous. Different people will experience different things, but common symptoms like we talked about at the beginning of the video would be stuff like getting cold hands, a faster heart rate, shivers, distracting nervous thoughts, hunching over, that kind of thing. By countering all of these things, what you're essentially doing is telling your brain that you are not feeling nervous. And in response, it will genuinely help to subside that anxiety. So let's get into some specifics. Using the examples we just had previously, how do we counter these symptoms of anxiety? Well, with cold hands, you can do stuff like rubbing them together, you can breathe on them, you can wear gloves during champion select, basically anything to warm them up. If you get shivers, then putting on a jumper or a blanket will help. If you're experiencing a faster heart rate, that can be regulated by slowing down your breathing. Your distracting nervous thoughts can be quelled by doing a different mentally demanding task, for example, like doing a Sudoku, or even reciting the alphabet backwards. Stopping yourself from hunching over and instead sitting upright and open will encourage confidence. Basically, whatever it is you feel, countering it and regulating it will really, really help. It may not feel like it, but just by watching this video, you've taken steps to dealing with your anxiety, as the knowledge of it alone will help you understand that your thoughts of ranked and its anxiety are actually misperceptions. And if you want to learn even more about it and take an even deeper look at anxiety, then you can check out this longer video I've done on the topic with a researcher in the science of emotions. Very cool stuff. That's what I've got to say on the topic. I spent a lot of time making this video the best it can be, and I really hope that it helps you. If it did help you, then you can leave a like on the video and also subscribe to me. I primarily do educational league content, but as you can tell from this video, sometimes I delve into different topics. If you have any mates who suffer from this, feel free to chuck this video their way. Also, you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, and catch me streaming on Twitch. All of those links are in the description. Most importantly, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Hope this video helps, and I will see you in my next video.